Good day everyone, I am Aaron Xavier Emposario from BPE 2A. So in this video, I am going to answer the activity in Unit 3 in MPE 7. So let's start. So there have one question that I need to answer in this activity. So the question is, what are the four essential components of any closed-loop control system? Describe how each of the component might function for the child who is using crayon to color a figure in a coloring book. So before I proceed to answer the question, first I'm going to discuss what is closed-loop control system. So what is closed-loop control system? The closed-loop control system is the control action from the controller is entirely dependent on the desired output. It is a feedback through the input to control the action of the desired output. So the closed-loop control system is a measure, monitor, and control the process through feedback to compare the actual output with the desired output. So another things about the closed-loop control system is it is one way of conceptualizing how we use sensory information in the control of movement. It is by comparing this task to the way common physical system uses in environment information in everyday situation. So that's all for the discussion about the closed-loop control system. So now it is time to answer the question. So what are the four essential components of any closed-loop control system? Describe how each of the components might function for a child who is using crayon to color a figure in a coloring book. So there have four essential components of closed-loop control system, which is executive, effectors, feedback, and also comparators. So first, let's talk about the executive. So the executive makes a decision about correction of action that needed. So dito sa component na ito yung paggawa ng isang decision at pagbibigay ng signal sa ating katawan para maitama yung dapat nating gawin o maisagawa ng tama yung isang action. So next, let's proceed to the effector. So it carries out the decision that being made by executive. So dito naman, ito naman yung execution ng isang decision na ginagawa ng executive. So next is the feedback. It is the information about your action. So ito yung pagbibigay ng information kung tama yung execution o action na ginagawa. So lastly is the comparator. So ito naman yung pagkukumpara sa actual state and desired state pag may na-detect na error. Isesend ito ng executive, then the executive will make a decision, and then isesend naman sa effector para may correct yung execution para ma-achieve yung o maisagawa ng tama yung desired goals or action. So lastly is the comparator. So ito naman yung pagkukumpara sa actual state and desired state pag may na-detect na error. So, isinesend ito ng executive, then the executive will make a decision, and then isinesend naman ito sa effector para mai-correct yung execution para ma-achieve yung o maisagawa ng tama yung desired goals or action. So in this four component, how can I describe this component might function for a child who is using crayon to color a figure in a coloring book? So the executive components of closed-loop control system will function in the situation as the child picks the color he and she will use. What coloring strategy will be used in the figure? So after deciding what color and strategy the child will use, the effector component will be used in carrying out the decision by coloring the figure. Then after the coloring is done, the child will then use the feedback component to assess the outcome of his and her works. So after assessing the outcomes, the child will use the comparators or the error detection mechanism component to compare the actual outcome from the expected outcome and the desired outcome. So then the child will evaluate the result as he and she is also executive. So that would be all. Thank you for listening.